Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be doing a final push to Mythic. I'm 9 wins away if we can go on a streak. So I'm really close, so I want to actually just try to make the push this month. Normally not super competitive on the channel, I'd rather have fun. But since we're so close, thought might as well go for it. Before we get started, today was ban and restricted announcement. And every mono red's favorite little dinosaur got unbanned. So Rampaging Ferocidon will be legal in best of 3. So it is a 3 mana 3/3 with Menace. It turns off life gain, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. So this basically says Scapeshift, good luck. My deck that I've been playing up to this point has been Yarok Field, which is a Field of the Dead deck, which gets absolutely destroyed by this card. So we are going to hopefully see if people have not yet adapted to it and not really thrown in red-green dinosaurs just yet. That would be the best case, but it's the deck I'm most familiar with, so we'll try leveling up. I will come with a red-green dinos list in the near future, but we are currently Diamond 3, so I wanted to run some games with my Yarok Field deck. So this is pretty much Jeff Hoogland's list that he played at the MCQ with a couple changes. So main board's pretty much identical. The only change that I did was I got rid of the Arch of Haraska because I like the Field of Ruin, having 2 of. I've been running into a lot of field mirrors, so having the 2 Field of Ruins is pretty good as a mirror breaker main board. But basically with the deck, what you're trying to do is play a more fair Field of the Dead deck. So Yarek doubles the triggers, so any of your lands that have like special ETBs gets double. It can get double the fields. There's also like an elemental package with Risen Reef and Cavalier of Thorns. This gives us card advantage. And then you have Ramp and Elvish Rejuvenator, Arboreal Grazer, and then Disruption, Disfigure, Assassin's Trophy, Thought Erasure, and then Tamiyo can help dig, bring stuff back, and you got a Nexus of Fate to prevent yourself from milling out. There's 30 lands main board, so we pretty much have a bunch of utility lands, Memorial of Genius, Memorial to Folly, you have the fields, you have the blast zones, so in a pinch you have quite a few lands. Sideboard wise, I made a couple changes to Jeff's list. I got the 2 cast downs, 2 Legion's End, 2 Noxious Grasp. I got rid of the extra 2 Disfigures in the sideboard. I added in an Ashiok versus the Kethis combo and just against Scapeshift. It helps beat that edge. And then Agent of Treachery has actually been pretty good at just stealing their Field of the Deads or stuff like that. Generally against the field mirrors, I bring in 4 Unmoored Egos. I name Field of the Dead, but if they play a field before I can get to it, this is a way that we can try to steal it from them. So I'll run it through some games. This is going to be more of a competitive stream. I will be back. I know there's a few deck lists people have requested. I will get to them, I promise. But I just, because we're so close, want to try to get to Mythic this round. Yeah, so there's quite an exciting day. Hogat got banned in Modern, Faithless Looting got banned, and Stoneforge Mystic got unbanned. So everybody on the free Stoneforge plan has been rewarded. So we'll see. I think Batterskull went up to $50. Sword of Fire and Ice, I could imagine, is probably close to 100. I didn't see the US pricing, but on like Magic Mart, they were 90 euros. So about $100 US, I think, pretty much on par the currency for Stoneforge Mystics. We'll play first. So usually in the hands, I'm looking for some early ramp. This particular hand, we do have Risen Reef into potentially a Yarek. Assassin's Trophy, some early interaction. Nexus is okay, but I think we give it a shot in the dark. I generally prefer having Elvish Rejuvenator on 3 than a Risen Reef. Elvish Rejuvenator in this deck's pretty much always guaranteed for a land, whereas the same can't be said for Risen Reef. So Overgrown Tomb, it could be a couple decks. It could be the Mirror. It can be the Golgari Citadel deck. Yeah, so this is the Golgari Citadel deck that's been going around. We actually have an okay matchup against it. Okay, so it's actually really good. I'm going to lead... Because we have the Assassin's Trophy for the Citadel, I'm going to go Scryland here. You generally want 3 sources of green. I'm going to dump that. We have Field to set us up, because Cavalier is 3 green. Next turn I'll do Yarek and then double trigger off Risen Reef. The fact they didn't also have... Okay, so they have Field in their deck. It's worth noting. This being a 2-1 is also good because Rejuvenator could block it quite well. And I might be inclined to field their field. Yeah, so there's our other green source. It's probably a free attack here. If they want to trade, they can. But I'm just going to drop Yarek down. Oh, they took the block. That's interesting. So, save that for Citadel. In a pinch, depending on our board state as well, we can Assassin's Trophy the Field of Ruin. So they play Vraska. So, somewhat rewarded for not going the Risen Reef plan here. I think we go Risen Reef first, see what we get. Assassin's Trophy, and another Risen Reef. So we're just going to go Value Train here. And this is where you kind of go off with the deck. So line into play. Put a line into play, get 2 zombies. Cavalier's nice. And yeah, so even that, we're already up 4 zombies. I'm going to chip at Vraska. They have to kill Vraska to kill one of our Risen Reef here. If not, we just Cavalier for pretty big value. Also, depending on how their turn sets up, we can Cavalier and then just set up a Nexus turn to try to take them out. This deck usually plays 2 Citadels now, so it's more of a value Citadel deck, as opposed to that all-in combo with the Explore package creatures.
The ends justify the means.
So they're just trying to dig here, see if they have removal. They can Field of Ruin or Field of the Dead. We play 3 basics in the deck, haven't drawn into any. Nisa's fine.
Harness the elements.
Okay, so they're mainboarding Legion's End. Not too concerned with that. So here... I'm gonna Assassin's Trophy the Nisa.
I've suffered worse.
Just want to see what we get here. Lots of triggers here. Yeah. Alright, so that's pretty solid. Game 1. We dodge Ferocidon, which is half the battle. So this matchup here, Ashiok can exile their graveyard. Agent of Treachery is pretty good at stealing their stuff. The cast downs are good. The Noxious Grasps are good. I don't think we want Ego. So generally, against, if they're not really aggressive, I take out the Arboreal Grazers, and I'll usually take out one land that's not really too useful in the matchup. So I go usually Field of Ruin, Blast Zone, or Memorial to Genius in terms of like grind value. I think we pretty much run this back. They're going to be bringing in Legion's End and more general sweepers. Depending what they play, we can always bring in the Egos. I think Assassin's Trophy's fine. Disfigure can do... Oh, we have another cast down. Why didn't I bring in that? So I'll cut... You know what? Let's get rid of the Disfigures and just bring in Assassin's Trophy. It's a clean answer. You want to get rid of the Wild Growth Walker and the Nisa. So those are clean answers, where Disfigure It can target like a Jade Light on ETB. Yeah, I'm gonna try brewing up one of the dinos lists with Ferocidon now. I'll post it on my Aether Hub. So this hand's a little bit of a trap. We don't have black mana. It's a little bit slower. I think we mulligan this one. Okay, this hand's a bit better. We'll keep. I'm gonna put the Tamiyo back. Triple Risen Reef, if it goes unchecked, is pretty solid. If they have... Okay, Branchwalker's fine. Okay, they have Legion's End. Gonna just set up the Scry here. I think I'm okay land-wise. Probably want some sort of removal. We will have to shock ourselves next turn, but it's fine. This hand might be a little too slow. Yeah, they're hitting us for 6 next turn. So yeah, Yarek's gonna be a little slow too. Because if we hit a land, then we could Risen Reef and Assassin's Trophy. Noxious Grasp, they hit us for 6 here. So, probably don't want another Assassin's Trophy. So put that into play. Next turn I'm gonna Yarek, so I'm not gonna block. Yarek's our kind of chance to come ahead on this board state. So I'm going to wait on the land to see what we get. So Cavalier. So I'm just going to put the land into play tapped. With our board state, it's worth noting we have 2 breeding pools, 2 temples. So although we have all these lands, we're still a bit of a ways off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana effectively. So we can Risen Reef. It's actually not bad for us. So we can Cavalier here. Or actually, let's Risen Reef first. Get double trigger. And then Cavalier. Ooh, and we got a field. We don't have a harbor. So they do have a Legion's End for the first one. Get the double trigger here. Just get another field. So I'm really just trying to set up some utility here. They're gonna sweep our first board. Blast Zone's not bad, actually. Yeah. Just too much value. They had the field, but we would have packed in with Yarek, started gaining our life back. Sweet. So that's one more win. We got the daily that's suitable for the deck, so we are currently at Diamond Tier 3. Get in there. Some of these games can go really long, so I'll probably play till about 45-minute worth. When you get into like the control mirrors, Bantscape Shift's pretty tough game 1. Yeah, so this hand's a bad hand. If we had another duel, but I think we mulligan this. This hand here's probably a keep. I'm gonna put back the Field of Ruin. So Temple can set up our draw. I think right now we're likely to draw another land. We have all our color requirements for Yarek. So I'm going to drop like Memorial next. Just to get the blue going in case we draw Risen Reef on 3. Again, we see the Overgrown Tomb, can be a couple different things. Okay, this is the Kethis combo. So we need to save it for Lazav or Diligent Excavator. This game, match 1 is very hard. Game 2 got a lot, and 3 gets a lot easier. So basically I bring in the Ashiok to exile their graveyards. I bring in the Unmoored Egos. You name Kethis first, then they try to win with a mill plan. So then you name Ashiok second so they can't exile Field of... or Nexus of Fate. So this is likely Kethis. So we don't have an answer, so... that is not that good. Mind you, they don't have... because they have to cut this out. I'll kill this. The hand's pretty slow. So obviously if we had an early ramp spell would have been good. This is one of the matchups too. I kind of let them go to time. Actually, that's interesting. You don't see Soren in many. Soren's pretty good at reanimating. This also puts on quite a bit of pressure on us. So they'll uptick, deal 1 damage to us.
What a mess I've made.
So Grazer will come out next turn. Let's just put 2 lands out. I'm just going to go Yarok here. Even for next turn, it's not too bad because even if they bounce with Tef, we could play Arboreal Grazer as well. Yeah, that's a fairy.
Right on schedule.
So opponents blinged out their deck. So mindful of time, they're 28. So I think if we play the field, we get colorless, green. No, we need to shock. We have the Assassin's Trophy for Kethis. That in a pinch we can play it. Might make more sense to get rid. That's annoying. You usually don't see them play the Tyrant Scorn. So they'll likely attack in here again. I'm just going to block with the Arboreal Grazer. They have enough of their colors. So they're grinding us more out this way. Because sometimes with fields you can take them off. Okay. So this is Uthakaya.
That's more like it.
Pretty close to scooping this game up. Our draw was just too slow for this particular build. Okay, so let's... Thought Erasure. More so just want to get information. Some of them play Jace mainboard to win through drawing out their deck. I just want to know like if they have the Ashioks or anything like that. Put 1 target creature card or from your graveyard onto the battlefield, destroy. Okay, so this one builds a little bit different. So no attacks. They're running out of action. They also have nothing to bring back. Tamiyo's pretty good. Tamiyo's gonna refill their hand. So they have Fibbles. So we can go bring back Vraska. Oh no, they can Yawgmoths, destroy, bring back Rasta.
I'm good at what I do.
Pretty much dead that
What I
one.
do is win.
We didn't really draw that well, but this gets a lot better when we can take out Kethis. So Unmoored Ego in, Assassin's Trophy in, Noxious Grasp, and Agent. Cast Down's usually a terrible card against a deck with all legendaries. This doesn't do as much, it's pretty narrow. Ceratops sometimes is okay. So Grazers are too slow in that matchup. You saw it just sit around and do nothing. I actually take out the Thought Erasures just because putting stuff in their graveyard kind of fuels their strategy. The Ceratops are fine to bring in. In this matchup, the Field of Ruin is less impactful, so we'll take out one of those. And got one more cut. I'll probably... I'm going to go down one Risen Reef. Or actually, we'll keep Risen Reef. We'll go down one Yarek. Yarek, because it gets bounced pretty easy. And like we saw that game, it got bounced 2 times. You cast it 3 times. It doesn't really give us tempo play, where everything else entering the battlefield gives us some more value. So we'll run it back. So you want to try to name Kethis first. We'll scan their library. If they have an Ashiok, I'll get rid of that. Otherwise, they can't really win through the mill plan. Sorin is an alternative. Oh. If only we had lands. Okay, I'm going to keep this hand. So I'm going to put back a temple here. So let's scry first. I think I'm okay with Assassin's Trophy. We don't have a clock, but it is a good way to catch up against like a Teferi that comes down. These decks generally won't play, I think, Dovin's Veto. Okay, so here, Risen Reef's nice. So this pretty much hampers a lot of the value out of the deck. Okay, so they have Shalai. So they do have Ashiok, so we need to name that. So they have the Shalai, Ruinous Blast. Disfigure's fine versus. So Ashiok's the win condition. Go from there. So Ashiok's the next thing we name. I may be inclined to actually... Nah. Do they go Narset here? Teferi, which one do you play? They don't know we have necessarily the Nexus of Fate, so it might be something where they don't start Ashioking us. See what they get.
Prepare.
We also don't draw cards, so I don't care. Oh, they missed. That's good. So here... Oh, that's actually very awkward with our mana base. Do I take them off the Isolated Chapel? I think we do. Takes them off white mana. And then just get another green source. Like they might have it here, but they have Overgrown. That takes them off Shalai, it takes them off Teferi. Naturally they draw into it. They also don't have basics, so that's a field. So hopefully they missed the Nexus. Those were really good cards.
Keep an open mind.
So the question is, so they're the blast. We know they don't have. So let's do this first. See what we draw into. Ooh, unmoored. I'm just gonna get rid of the Ashiok here.
I will always return.
We also only have one black source, so if they go Shalai here, it protects against the ego, which was a little awkward. Is also good.
Only a fool stands in my way. Don't flatter yourself.
So Cavalier's pretty good here. Gets us ahead on mana. Is this exile? Exile. Okay, so they're likely gonna have the 5th land, so let's not do that. Let's name Ashiok. Gets rid of those two.
This has been a nightmare.
So at this point they can't mill us out. Cavalier, hopefully either find another black source. If Shalai.
Unfortunate casualty.
Let's see if they sack the Narset. They don't. Ruinous Blast. I think we do this. See if we can get them to force the Ruinous Blast out. And then, worst case, we just Noxious Grasp it. Pretend like we passed through. That's fine. Because I want Cavalier, because when Cavalier dies, it could get back the Unmoored Ego, and we could just start picking apart their deck. These don't actually win the game. We want to get rid of all their things that could win the game.
Sacrifices must be made from time to time.
So I'll probably name Shalai next. That's actually pretty good. So we're going to hold off in case we get a Field of the Dead. Don't. So we'll just get a Simic Guildgate. They did see that. So if this dies, it's fine. If they bounce with Teferi, it's just more value. I can Memorial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4-drop. We draw another land that can Memorial back the Cavalier of Thorns.
Trust me. You'll thank me later.
We're at 22 minutes.
Every story is an opportunity for new data.
Might be a bad idea.
They're gonna get back the Ruinous Blast.
The ends justify the means.
Really want to draw an Ashiok here.
To the library.
And they're just self-filling the library. That is great. So I'm gonna go Cavalier first. I would love to draw one of our many Field of the Deads. 34 cards. Of note, that gets rid of the Ruinous Blast. It gets rid of the Shalai. We hit 2 Ruinous Blasts. I think they only play 2 anyways. They do have Vraska.
Pity we couldn't have been allies.
Let me aid your research.
But just exiling their graveyard's pretty good value there. We can also put it back. Okay, so they got Othakaya.
Your feast.
They can Fibblethip here. Draw some card.
Bloodlust.
That's tough. Probably gotta go after Soren. Soren's away. Tamiyo's nice. I think we just do Tamiyo, get back Cavalier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's go to combat first. Because if they let this die, then I'll get back Ashiok. So make sure it leaves up the triple green.
The moon looks intriguing tonight.
Get back our Cavalier. Then we can start digging for the Nexus of Fate. Because if we could take multiple turns, we could just kill them. Are you kidding me? We've gone through over half our deck and have yet to draw a Field of Ruin. Or a Field of Dead. That's pretty good. Nate, put it on 4, get rid of all these. That's fine if you Noxious Grasp that. Teferi can't bounce. They could get Noxious Grasp back. But that just gets back Tamiyo and we redo this entire turn. Alright, 19 minutes, we're at 22. It's unlikely post-board that they go pure combo just because we have the Unmoored Egos.
An unfortunate casualty.
We might also be able to name Shalai. It gets rid of another way they could win the game. Bounce me, bro.
For my excellent timing.
Bounce me.
Trust me, I
Thank
have
you.
a plan.
So that should, in theory, get us to the Field of Dead. Oh, Teferi is something we gotta kill.
This isn't a fight you can win.
That is definitely a way they could win the game.
No tail should be discarded.
They uptick, kill our Cavalier.
Hold that thought.
So if that's the case, I'm gonna get Tamiyo down if they Noxious Grasp.
Time for a drink.
Because Tamiyo lets us get back the Assassin's Trophy. Okay, we're not gonna show them what we drew yet. They'll kill this. Noxious Grasp as expected. Oh, you only put it on top of our library. Uh... So we're just going to decline here. It's a little awkward. Sequence wrong there. Okay, finally a Field of the Dead. Here... Can crank this up. So if we crank this up, could put 2 on it, put it up to 3. 3 doesn't really help. So I'm probably going to crack this to get back. Probably Cavalier of Thorns. And just do that again. Seems like the best, just cycling those. They could Vraska one of these. We need to get this hero, or Hero Dominari off the battlefield.
Let's try this.
Also, just trying to draw into Nexus is a good way.
Keep up the pace.
19 cards. I had Elder Spell on the sideboard. I did take it out. I need to revisit if this is more popular of a deck. There we go. Othakaya. It's fine. They might do another Othakaya, but they would probably target Cavalier if they had multiples. They do Noxious Grasp.
I have learned much from my ancestors.
Its loss will serve us.
Get the land. We need to kill this. And we need to kill the Tamiyo. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it only puts it up to 3, so we'll wait a turn. So they could have a couple of things of removal here. Ah! I forgot with Field. That was dumb of me. So we're gonna go Tamiyo first. They'll likely Noxious Grasp here. Okay, they do that. So I can put Assassin's Trophy on top. Get back Risen Reef. So then we do Memorial, get back Risen Reef. Cast the Risen Reef, get the Assassin's Trophy. Oh, you're still in combat. Play this. Here. Set up the fields. Rejuvenator, don't want. Looking for Nexus here. So we can put a counter on it. So Tamiyo can't get it back right now. So we just get rid of this.
Now what?
Just end the turn. Put a stop, just so we remember. So yeah, that's expected.
The day is yours.
This will just go up to 2.
I think
If we draw dead, we also have Memorial to pop. Yawgmoths, they got it in hand. They get to Fairy back. Got 11 cards. I think we need Elder Spell in the sideboard. They've diversified this version enough that it is tough. They are at 15 minutes. We're at 19. They go Shalai. So Shalai's pretty good here.
No, I am not making this up as I go. I am whole.
They're trying to just close out the game. This can also start making itself bigger. So it presents a reasonable clock.
You would make
They're
an
gaining a lot of
excellent
value.
opponent for my study.
Tamiyo will get back to Fairy. So if we can get rid of the Shalai at least, if they try to do Teferi loop, they can just time out. Like a little
The
one.
storied past holds our future.
So put a counter. Assassin's Trophy's good. So that gets rid of that. We can now attack the Tamiyo. That kills that. We're just trying to limit the amount of ways they can get the Teferi back.
I will not stand.
I'm just gonna pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to put 2 on this. So the reason we're doing that is we want to see what they're playing. 4 is likely the slot. They can pop the Sorin to bring back the Shalai. $13 minutes left for the opponent. Especially if we do go to like a game
What a mess I've made.
3. Timeliness wise, they're gonna fall behind. Fine.
Pity we couldn't have been allies.
They could like Teferi, Oath, Teferi. There are 10 cards in library. One, 2, 3, 4. So we've seen all our Assassin's trophies. You know, at this point, I might just put it up to 3. If that's the way they're going to try to win the game. Because that's going to deal us damage enough that it's reasonable for us to do that. At 12:30. They got Tamiyo.
Like
4
the phases of the
Tamiyos.
moon, life waxes and wanes.
Okay, I think we get rid of the 4 drops.
I follow the tracks of the wise.
Yeah, we definitely go 4 drop now. So so we need to put 2 counters on it. So let's just make sure it doesn't tap stupid for us. Let's undo that. Let's just tap this one. So sack this.
I question this outcome.
So let's draw some cards. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot about Narset. Oh, I'm stupid. I forgot about that. We could have done it on their turn and drawn a card. Like, we're bound to draw into this Nexus of Fate. We have 16 cards left. 15. So it's in the top 15. Shalai back again.
Let's
Bounce
slow
that.
this down. Here we go.
Just going uptick there. Ah, that was a punt. That was a punt. Their time's ticking. They're getting down to 10 minutes. I think we just try to stall the game at this point. Oh, shit. Give me your Shalai. Give me your Shalai. Only thing we can take. That might be game. We can start pumping them up too if we flood out anymore. We've used every one of our utility lands.
Don't worry, I got this.
Okay, that's fine. It just buys us a turn. It also prevents them from bouncing Othakaya. It's unlikely they go the full 10 minutes this game. We just need to see if we could sneak out the game for a couple turns. Farasadon. I'm keeping this back on defense because it can block. And I don't think they have removal at this point. So they got to do a couple pumps.
I'll protect you.
But that's probably okay. Because if they attack in with Shalai, I can attack down to Fairy. I'm really just trying to buy some turns here. The opponent spent 7 more minutes than we have this game. It's pretty aggressive. Mind you, I guess if they don't have... I probably would have just gone in with Shalai and pumped. Not gonna do much. No. I think we're dead regardless. I can't attack the fairy. They got Othakaya. They got us. We drew so much of our deck. So let's see if they see the lines. They could just double pump and they win. They bounce Oath.
Got it.
Alright, we'll go to the opponent. GG. Alright, we'll wrap this one up. That was a long one. You saw how we kind of combat it, but with this differentiation, we probably need some number of Elder Spell on the sideboard. Appreciate those who tuned in live. As always, you can catch my content on YouTube, and you can follow on Twitch to know when I go live. Thanks for watching, and have a great one.